My name is Jamal W. Childs, and at this present time, I am a pissed off United States Army veteran. I did 4 years in the military. I was a 44 Bravo welder, and I incurred physical disabilities and mental disabilities in military service. I incurred overt racism in the military, had fought, I think I remember, four white boys for calling me niggers and things of that nature. Also, while in the military, I have second and third degree burns on my body for being in a welding accident, different welding situations where, I have burns that are permanent. So, my mental health conditions for 27 years were out of whack. I drank alcohol. I was very dysfunctional. Stayed in a lot of fights. Been beat up 3 times, knocked out twice, locked up maybe 9 times. Have 4 children mothers. I'm the ultimate womanizer. It's not a problem with that. That's part of life. So, So I had a Marine come to my house June 11th, 2011. The reason I keep on switching his head around because, you know, probably I'm nervous. I'm all pissed off. I really don't give a shit. But at this present time, I want to convey the message that a Marine named Kelly came to my house, and June 11th of 2011, and I've been in the VA system for 6 years. He was gone at Prairie Point VA Medical Center in Cecil County, Maryland, for drug and alcohol and things of that nature. We used to drink and party together. So that was the onset of me being interested to the VA. He introduced me to the system, got me an ID card, psychiatrist, therapist, and a host of other things. And we did a lot of work because, my mental health was not up to par. I really don't like fucking people. I love my mother. Some of my family members can't stand that goddamn asses, and I've been clean off of alcohol 6 years and cigarettes and marijuana, things of that nature. I have very dysfunctional behavior. I accept it. I apologize to the people that I can apologize to. And the ones that I remember, I will apologize. And the ones I don't, fuck it. It is what it is. I'm a volunteer for Veterans, an advocate. I deal with all aspects of Veterans Affairs from, helping out with claims and housing and women that are rape victims. They call it military sexual trauma, but I don't know why they call that. Rape is rape. So what we're trying to do is focus on being whole in the community and helping people and God first at all times. I tell people, if you don't have any fight, don't call my goddamn phone, for real, because you wasn't in the Boy Scouts and it wasn't in the Girl Scouts. It's United States military, no matter what branch you're in, and you serve and you have some kind of disabilities moving forward. So what I'm stating to the people, we're going to put up a YouTube and a podcast to address issues and your concerns about how to address yourself in the Veterans Administration moving forward. So I have 6 years of inpatient, outpatient therapy for mental health conditions, nightmares, panic attacks, mood swings, and of course, severe chronic anger. And the anger is well based, and I've been in anger management and things of that nature. So I'm not making excuses for my behavior in the past. All I can do is apologize to the people I hurt. A lot of people are hurt, got hurt, and I hurt a lot of people. I'm apologize, but a lot of people I don't fucking like, and that's something I got to work on. The psychiatrist said you carrying a bag on your back. But if I don't like you, I don't like you. I don't have a problem having a hard conversation with anybody about what's the business. You understand what I'm saying? So the business at hand is that I'm not well, and I don't think I'll ever be fixed. after, being in the military, we're trained to kill wasn't the Boy Scouts, stuff like that. So, never been to combat, anything of that nature, but I've been out there. If you've been in the Army, you know what I'm talking about, the field. Let's get that straight. People in prison talk all that crazy mess about bitten and stuff like that. Well, join the United States goddamn Army and do about 4 or 5 years in there, and nothing in prison is compared to what you do in the military. Let me get that part straight first. You got choices. All of us have choices. I'm not saying I'm perfect or nothing like that, but I want people to convey the message that it's not for little boys or little girls when you go in the military at any age or whatever, where you're from the United States or whatever. If you're Mexican, if you are black, you're white, and stuff like that, you got to endure. You got to deal with some tense situations on a consistent basis. And the number one thing is this: if you do not qualify on a range at a good distance, 2 football fields, 3 football fields, that doesn't matter, you will not graduate from boot camp. That's not happening. So you are a trained killer if you accept it or not. There's only two things. There's only 2 kinds of veterans: either a trained killer or a killer. There's no in betweens. Let's get that part straight. Another thing that's pissing me off is people saying, "Well, you got to be in combat to file claims." Well, were you in combat when you're running in boot camp? Were you in combat in AIT? When you got injured in AIT or permanent party and things of this nature, you can file claims for whatever disability that you have that hinders your daily living. And one thing that people fail to realize, that hindering your daily living could be collective trauma. You might have seen somebody get hung in the barracks and cut themselves or blow their head off or ran over by a tank in Germany or fall in some quicksand down in Panama. We don't know. Helicopter crashes. It's a collective trauma. When they say collective trauma, you see things and they say, suck it up and keep it moving. So all these years you suck up and keep it moving, you drinking on top of it, you shooting dope and you this stuff like this, and you having nightmares and panic attacks and night sweats, and it's a condition called hypervigilance. And people need to pull this up. That's a real condition where you pay attention to everything around you consistently and you're on hyper alert 24/7. Let's get this part straight. In order to function in the military, you had to have all your senses. So you got programmed to be in that environment, and you didn't get programmed to be in civilian sector or wherever you're living in this country. Once somebody takes a weapon and puts it in your hand and you hit a target at how many ever feet, I can't remember. I know I hit the damn target. If you've been in a gas chamber and places like that and rappelling off of towers or jumping in swimming pools and think you're going to drown, that's causing mental disorders. You could be predisposed to mental disorders in your neighborhood, your city, your town, the country, or wherever place you come from. But all mental health conditions are exacerbated in military service. Somebody's calling your name 24/7. You have to be accountable for 24/7. You understand what I'm saying? So being in that type of environment and people don't want to realize and acknowledge that they have problems. It could be a limb missing, or you can die from a bloodborne disease, or you had sex and got gonorrhea and stuff like that. So, it's collective trauma, not physical health disabilities and mental health disabilities ongoing that hinder your daily living until the Lord calls you home. Because all of us going home, no matter what you do out here. I don't care if you're a racist or redneck, don't like this, don't like that. You will leave this earth. So what I'm saying to you is that I want to be able to help my brothers and sisters that are veterans across the United States to have a better understanding of how to deal with the VA no matter where you're at. Nobody can figure out that VA. The VA is a big octopus. And within that octopus is a little octopus. And they got tentacles all over the place. So the most important thing to do is retrieve your military medical records and review the records, and everything in your military medical records you should file claims for. If you went to sick call for it, you should file claims for it. If you was in a plane crash, you should file claims for it. If you was in a helicopter crash, you should file claims for it. If you was in a diving accident, you should file claims for it. If you was a bosun mate in the military, you should file claims for it. If you was loading nukes up on planes and the door shut on your hand or your head, you should file claims for it. Injuries occurred in military service. That's what we're dealing with. The injuries hinder your daily living. Even if you was 21 years old, you was the best athlete in the world, and then your knees are shot, and you say, well, when I was in the service, I played on the post team and played football, and I went to sick call for one of these 5 or 6 times. Things of this nature. Also, the service makes people alcoholics and dope fiends. Let's get that part straight. People sit up there and say, well, I did it in the service, this, that, and that. Well, you was young running in formation, but you got high the night before. So what happens after that is it comes socially acceptable, and then you bring that crap home, and next thing you run around in your cities, your states, and your towns, and you are all kinds of alcoholics and dope fiends and addicts and things of this nature. Nobody programmed us to come back in the community and be functional. We're functional and dysfunctional on a consistent basis. That's why we do not sleep. You have chronic insomnia, sleep disturbance, and sleep apnea. All that comes from sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation is the onset of high blood pressure, diabetes, migraines, and all kinds of disorders where it's though that we stay irritated on a consistent basis. And the reason you stay irritated on a consistent basis is because you have not slept and you still ain't sleeping. And then these people sitting up there talking about, oh, you got to be in combat to file claims. Well, first of all, you have training to go to war, don't you? And people get injured in training to go to war. Oh, but they left that part out, that you got training to go to war. I understand that part. But don't be listening to these stupid people because they don't know what they're talking about. What we're going to do is collectively break down boot camp, permanent party, AIT collectively, and get you to understand that no matter what branch you is, any injury that you went to sick call for, you can file claims. Then you have undiagnosed conditions and diagnosed conditions, pre-existing conditions, and things of this nature. Let me tell y'all something. Your whole body was in the military, not half of it. Let's get that part straight, true. Not half of it. I don't care if you was freezing to death and got frostbite, or if you fell in a hole somewhere, climbing on the side of some mountain in Hawaii. Everybody wants to be the tough guy. They don't want to talk about what's going on with them. They don't understand that your knees are shot. You ain't playing basketball no more. You know, you got interference having sex because you got 3 high blood pressure medications, and you just can't do it no more. It's done. You know, you got to use other parts to please the woman. You know what I'm talking about. But nevertheless, VA is famous for giving out pills. Let me tell all y'all something. If you won't die from street drugs, you'll definitely die from them goddamn VA pills. I don't care what none of y'all say. The side effects on them pills cause secondary conditions to the first conditions, and then the next thing that you're going to have some kind of failure. And one thing is true. Every VA hospital has flags. They got a flag for you. So if you keep on popping them VA pills, you're going to jump in that casket. I'm telling you what's 100. You understand what I'm saying? But, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and, that's how we are out here. Other parts of this city, I'm straight to it. We keep it real, 100, whatever way you want to do it. I'm a kind of person, I'm straightforward. No cut card. I've done the research. I've done the research to infinity. There's no lawyer, no VA representative, no rep nowhere can tell me shit. WARMS, Web Automated Reference Material System, Code of Federal Regulations, Bonus Pensions, Veterans Relief, Clinicians Guide, Veterans Administration, Military Disabilities Made Easy, what is it called? Clear unmistakable error, clear unmistakable proof, clear unmistakable evidence, Nexus letter, Veterans Administration. So you got Veterans Administration behind all that, right? And it's a host of other things that is in benefit of doubt, reasonable doubt, things of that nature that you need to pull up when it comes to a claims process if you're dealing with that, or if you want housing as in HUD-VASH, or you want Chapter 35, Chapter 33, or chapter this to go to school. They got all kinds of chapters. If you print all this stuff on a paper book, it probably in 5 tractor trailers. So they don't have ambassadors in anybody anybody come to say, well, this is what you're supposed to do, Mr. Giles. A veteran named Kelly came to my house, and I was drunk as shit, went in the VA the next day, and I've been in that place ever since. So I went in the VA a broken man, and I'm still a broken man all these years later, because my brothers and sisters are out there hurting in the community, in the neighborhood, in the country, living in the woods, living in drain pipes, in prison with undiagnosed conditions, people losing their mind out here, things of this nature. They don't want to tell people in Vietnam, people was shooting dope and sniffing dope in Germany, using hashish in Germany. So they was drug addicts when they went to Vietnam. They was drug addicts when they come home. It's like, how did he come up like that? How did she come out like this? You understand what I'm saying? So it's a lot. You take the human body and you stretch it like a rubber band, it's gonna pop. So what we need to do is have a better understanding of how to address the Veterans Administration. You have to be assertive. You have to be aggressive. You got to be passive, and you cannot back out that fight. They want all of us dead. Why do you think that it's more easy for them to do surgeries and keep on giving you medication on top of all the ailments you had before you came in there? And next thing you know, your limbs are falling off. You got high blood pressure. You got diabetes. You can't have sex. You're irritated all the time. And these veterans are 21 a day are either trying to commit suicide or attempt suicide on a consistent basis. It's systematic. It's better off dead than pay you for anything. And people need to understand something. There's some good people in the VA and some bad people in the VA. We ain't got time to figure out who's good and who's bad. What you need to understand is you need to address this as a business and try to leave as many feelings out as possible. Got a nappy head, gray head, been up all night, been up all day, but I'm okay. People say, how come you don't smile? I don't want to fucking smile. What am I smiling for? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not smiling because my brothers and sisters out there hurting. You understand what I'm saying? So I can smile if I see one of you smiling, and then, maybe all right. I seen people smile with no legs, and that made my day. But other than that, we need to understand the only one that's going to help us is ourselves. The United States Congress don't give a fuck about us. The United States House of Representatives don't give a fuck about us. And all the cabinet levels and wherever, they don't give a fuck about us. Why does it have to be that anybody goes to the VA has no idea what to do? I don't care what VA hospital you go in or VA federal building or there, has no direction. They don't have ambassadors. They don't have people saying to you, this is the process. This is the process to go get the ID card first, then go to a primary care doctor, then go to the mental health clinic, and then go to the specialist. Order your military records. Get your civilian records. It don't exist. You will never ever see on the side of a transit bus or a billboard or commercial how to address the VA. They put it on a website and put tidbits. Well, my whole body was in the military and that wasn't a tidbit at all. So I'm not making excuses. They're saying I'm perfect, which I'm not. Never gonna lie about that. But also I can tell the VA damn sure is not fucking perfect. In Baltimore, Maryland, it's horrific. I'm gonna let everybody know that. It's the most horrific system out of maybe the whole VA system. Is a laugh. It's a joke. They're not helping these people out here. Where they helping them at? I want somebody to tell me in Baltimore, Maryland, who's helping, collectively helping people by the masses. It's people helping people. I understand that part. But by the masses, hundreds and thousands of veterans across the state of Maryland, are they really getting help? No, they're not. That's the big ass lie. When Anthony Brown was running for the governor of the state of Maryland, he's a veteran. If he'd have tapped into the veterans population, he probably would have been the governor of the state of Maryland. He didn't even tap into to talk to the veterans that's out in the state of Maryland. There's over 200,000 veterans in the state of Maryland. That's for the first population I would try to see if I could assist and get in the seat to help these people. Nobody's helping us. It's ridiculous. You should see how they treat these people, saying that they don't have these conditions, diseases, and all this stuff coming from military service. When if you look at their MOSs put them in harm's way. That's the job you did in the military. Yes, that's true. Some people had 3 and 4 MOSs. Some people retired 25 and 30 years in the military. These people are acting like these people didn't extend their bodies to the full extent for 20, 30, 40 years, 5 years, 2 years, whatever. I know a guy that got 100% service connected for having an asthma attack in boot camp and almost died. Injuries occurred in military service, exacerbated by military service, or that are presumptive from military service. And that's what we're dealing with. So I'm here to say, if you want some help, we got the YouTube up and the podcast is coming. And I'm not going to shut the hell up. I almost died from drinking for 27 years. So if I can live another 27 years and talk to you, it's not a goddamn problem. And I'll try to use less profanity as possible because, I get a little bit upset. So that's a part of that chronic anger secondary to chronic adjustment disorder, which I never knew I had from being on fire. And it was like, well, you got an attitude. Well, I do got a goddamn attitude because, I was kind of I'm a dark-skinned guy and I got scorched. So, they said there's nothing wrong with you. And Sarge said, here, take a drink and suck it up. I was high on Percocets at the CQ desk in the Army in 1985 and didn't even know it. So when the Percocets ran out, we went to the liquor. We went to the liquor, you went to the broads. Went to the broads, went to the dysfunctional behavior. You understand what I'm saying? So all that was collected. A young guy, I'm drinking. I got women. I got free money. I'm living in the barracks. I'm all over the place. But, I still had to be to work. We had a lot of lovely times in the military. But when that shit was bad, it was bad. So I'm not making it up. So I don't have no reason to lie to anybody about none of this VA stuff. I got taught by the best. And one of them name was Trevor Lane. He just killed himself. If I'm not mistaken, it's going on like 9 months. They taught me the ropes. So, we need to instruct you on the ropes. And that's what's coming next about how to deal with the VA and address the people in the VA. And most of the people in the VA are civilians. So you already know what you're going to do with them. It's already, am I right? I don't even like civilians. They're disorganized, dysfunctional, and you can't trust their asses. So at this present time, what I'm going to say to you is thank you for your service. Good night. And get some goddamn fight in your ass. Because they ain't going to give you shit. I don't care what color you are. And may God bless you.